It's the most meaningful night in sports, honoring athletes and coaches from around the country for their integrity and class.
What would they say about you when your sports life ends?
For putting others in front of yourself.
Losing for the sake of learning, then it really isn't, in the long run, isn't losing at all.
And for setting the standard both on and off the field.
Nobody can lose if we all come together, so that's the only victory.
Tonight, we celebrate all that's right in sports. This is the 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, presented by the Citizenship Through Sports Alliance and the St. Louis Sports Commission.
Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Bush.
Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the Chase Park Plaza in St. Louis for the most meaningful night in sports. Tonight, you'll see remarkable examples of sportsmanship. You'll be treated to some amazing stories that represent all that's right in sports. Our honorees are from all over the country. They bring with them inspiring acts of selflessness, class, and community service. They also show extraordinary kindness and compassion in the midst of competition. And that's especially true of our first award recipient, Azusa Pacific University. Take a look.
Not too long ago, the tide of adversity rolled onto the beaches of Santa Barbara, California. But out of the fog came character and integrity. Just minutes from the seashore sits Westmont College, a private liberal arts school with just over 1,300 students. Their men's soccer team is coming off the most memorable season in school history.
We had gotten on an incredible roll at the end of the season. We just started playing great.
The Warriors were the 6th seed in the Golden State Athletic Conference tournament. But they went on the road to upset 3rd-seeded Vanguard.
Move it! Move it!
And 2nd-seeded Concordia to earn a date in the conference championship game for a trip to the Nationals.
It's hard to explain, but we had our chemistry already. Everyone just started playing the way we should have been playing.
It's one thing, though, to get to the title game. It's another to win it. After all, they had to play Azusa Pacific, the defending NAIA champion.
For us, it was a matter of getting back and trying to repeat something that hadn't been done, and so it was a kind of a challenge.
APU's program is so successful, they sometimes compete against NCAA Division I schools for players. 18-year-old Vinny Dantes signed up all the way from Brazil.
Then when I came here, then I saw the level, I saw the atmosphere, and what the program is about. I was like, this is the place that I want to be.
At the time of the Westmont game, APU was ranked 2nd in the country.
Once we got into conference, we started winning a lot, getting a lot of shutouts, and just kept on rolling.
Westmont may have been the underdog, but 2 days before the game, they felt prepared. They were not prepared, however, for what happened next.
I got home from training at about 5:45 that afternoon, and immediately saw just at the top of the hill where the tea gardens are what looked like kind of a large bonfire.
The fire started right where the arches are.
What started as a bonfire to warm some young trespassers escalated into the Santa Barbara Tea Fire. It swept through Westmont's campus, destroying 9 buildings, 50 dorm rooms, and 15 faculty homes. Many students were evacuated. Others spent the night in the fireproof gym.
So there were a lot of thoughts about where are the players going, where do they end up, is everybody okay?
Head coach Dave Wolf, his wife Jill, and their 5 children escaped without incident. But a few hours later, they got the bad news.
We found out about midnight that night that we had lost our home.
When you've lost a house, winning a soccer game is not exactly your first priority. But with the Azusa game only 2 days away, the coach knew the fire had also burned their chances for a shot at nationals.
The metaphor, the season's gone up in smoke, I mean, that's a little bit how it felt.
But like the firefighters who put out the flames, the spirit of sportsmanship soon extinguished those concerns. The Azusa head soccer coach at the time was Phil Wolf, Dave's younger brother.
Coach Wolf always taught us to look out for each other and others before yourself. So of course, unselfish thing to do is look out for Westmont.
Azusa Pacific could have won the game by forfeit and gone to nationals to defend their title. Instead, they called the NAIA and asked to postpone the game.
We didn't suggest anything. We didn't ask for anything. They basically insisted, this is what we're going to do for you.
And delaying the game was only the beginning. They took it upon themselves to rally the Westmont community, offering the team dorm rooms for as long as they needed. They also paid for team meals and offered encouragement to the Warrior players as they walked onto the soccer field.
There's a gate around it, and they had posted a sign with students writing notes of encouragement to us and saying, Westmont, we love you.
At the end of the day, the winning is a byproduct of the process of how you treat your sister and brother and how you love one another as God has loved us.
On Monday, November 17, 2008, a trip to the NAIA Nationals would be determined on the field of play. For Westmont, the game was a distraction from the distress, and they were lifted on the wings of emotion.
Looking around the locker room, you could see the focus on every person's face. I don't think I've ever seen everyone as focused as we were.
The guys that day were so together and so connected. The sense I kind of got from them was basically, Coach, we'll see you after the game. We got this.
Azusa Pacific may have been the favorite, but on that day, adrenaline trumped talent.
And through the first half, you know, I remember kind of sensing that the Westmont team, they were just going on something that was extra.
Oh yeah, they're lights out. They're incredible.
They were playing for something bigger than just that game. That's for sure.
In the end, Westmont won the game 2-0. But they not only celebrated their trip to nationals, they celebrated their opponent.
There was kind of healing beginning to take place on the field. I mean, it sounds very strange, but that's the way it felt.
That was the biggest show of sportsmanship I've seen, not only from my own personal experience, but I don't think I've seen that from anyone else.
It was just the right thing to do. They should not have been punished because of a natural disaster that happened to them.
Azusa's season was over, but perhaps they scored a bigger victory.
Had the circumstances not been there at all, and we would have won and maybe gone to the national tournament, you know, those memories would have probably faded quicker because it wasn't something that was so much bigger than the game.
My soul sings. I wouldn't have been here 32 years if we were a different kind of place.
They put the better interests of others in front of their own in a hotly contested athletic competition.
Westmont didn't win the national championship. They lost in the quarterfinals. That's not what they'll remember about their 2008 season. What they'll remember is reaching out their hand and being pulled from the ashes.
And I think I could coach another 19 years here and never have anything match that particular day.
Let's now congratulate Azusa Pacific, and representing the university, here's Athletic Director Bill O'Dell. You'll have the chance to choose your favorite story seen during the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards. Text VOTE to 83228. Still ahead on the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, we'll take you to Texas and explain why hundreds of high school football fans spent one Friday night rooting for the opposing team. And this baseball standout says his best game actually comes off the field. One of the best sports of them all, Albert Pujols, still ahead.
It's the kitchen table conversation that's happening just about everywhere. How to pay this month's bills, how to plan for next month's. Ameren UE Budget Billing, the simple way to level out your monthly UE bill to the same amount based on your average usage. so looking forward, you'll know what's coming. And these days, knowledge is power.
When your touchscreen runs on AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, the difference can be dramatic. Buy any exclusive Samsung touchscreen after mail-in rebate and get one free after mail-in rebate. Only from AT&T.
Mark, we have teams on both coasts that are interested, but Milos only wants to play for Dallas. Milos really wants to play for Brussels. Milos only wants to play for Shanghai, Buenos Aires, Frankfurt, Paris.
Milos really wants to play for Rome.
How's your Japanese?
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
As the title sponsor of the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, AT&T is proud to support these remarkable athletes. It's important to recognize those whose actions embody the spirit of sportsmanship, and we're proud to honor the perseverance, integrity, and dedication these athletes bring to the game. We hope you enjoy the ceremony, and please visit us on the web for more about the winners.
You know, we may wonder sometimes what happened to civility, respect, and integrity, not just in sports, but beyond. Well, rest assured, meeting our honorees, your faith will be restored. They are role models for all of us. Their actions and impact transcend sports. Take, for instance, our next award recipient, Coach Chris Hogan and the Grapevine Faith High School football team. Take a look.
In Texas, football is a religion. And on Friday nights every autumn, they see the light.
There is nothing like Friday night. Just getting to watch your kiddo play.
And nothing could compare to the final game of the regular season at Grapevine Faith High School. Tonight, the Lions are hosting the Tornadoes from Gainesville State High. From door to door, the two schools are just 85 miles away, but they're worlds apart. Grapevine Faith is a football powerhouse with a large, enthusiastic fan base. The Tornadoes, on the other hand, aren't known for their skills or support, but for their mistakes.
They didn't get to that institution for, cutting Sunday school to go fishing or something. They did something serious to get there.
Gainesville State High is a maximum security facility for male teen offenders, a place where barbed wire and a strict set of rules surround the students. Football is one of the few freedoms here, open only to those who earn the privilege to play. The Tornadoes don't play home games, they don't win very often, and they don't have many fans.
So a lot of times we would look and make a big play and you'll hear like a couple hand claps, and that was about it because it wasn't that much support.
They show up week after week after week with an empty set of bleachers, and then they get pounded in the game. So they do earn the right to play football, but man, it's not the same experience that everybody else has on Friday night in Texas.
Where's the defensive end that lost contain there?
So Grapevine's coach Chris Hogan had an idea. It all started with an email last year to Lions fans.
This Friday night, the Lions end their regular season schedule by hosting Gainesville State School. These young men will not have any fans outside the facility from their school. Their parents will not be there. I want as many people as we can get to come down to the west end of the football field at 7:15 and make a spirit line for the Gainesville players to run through. I want some Lion fans to sit on the visitor side and cheer for the Gainesville team throughout the game. We will get a roster with their names and numbers so the folks cheering for them can call them by name.
And basically ask us to be willing to just love on these boys as if they were our own.
And love they did. Grapevine's fans wrapped their arms around the Gainesville players and gave them a collective hug.
They're running through there like, are we in trouble again or what?
You know, even with the helmets on and stuff, you could see the smiles, you could see the joy, and you could just see the sheer amazement of what they were experiencing last year.
But once we realized it was two spirit lines, and once we saw it was fans and parents screaming our names and saying "Go Gainesville" and stuff like that, we knew that night was like a night that we've never experienced, and it was going to be a special night.
You go from no fans to going out onto the field with 400 people in a spirit line for you, calling you by name for the first time in your life.
A game focused not on domination, but elevation.
They saw that success was being given a chance, being told that they're important and they matter, and that they're loved by a lot of people who they don't even know.
You know, acceptance of people for just being people. Fathers come to share their time with other students. That was real strong for me.
Fast forward to 2009, and the excitement over the Grapevine-Gainesville matchup lives on.
When I read this story last year of what Coach Hogan and Faith Christian are doing, I thought, how could I not come out here and sit in the stands?
Once again, fans packed both sides of the field, and the list of invitees includes former Gainesville players who've moved up and on, and even the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But the biggest names of all were the Tornadoes. The Lions beat the Tornadoes that night, just as they did last year. But everyone here kept track of a different score.
I hope this whole game wins people's hearts. Nobody can lose if we all come together.
Lord, we thank you for this day.
At Grapevine Faith, they know that the spirit of sportsmanship always looks better in the right light.
And accepting the award, it's our pleasure to introduce the head coach of the Grapevine Faith High School football team, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hogan.
So what does this award mean to you?
Well, it's humbling because it was an idea that hopefully wouldn't be that big of a deal. You look around and you see teenagers in prison and they're somebody's little boy, right? So it just seemed like the right thing to do. But the real thing that for me is it creates a platform. And that's why I'm proud to be here with you guys tonight and why I'm proud this is on television. People need to see this kind of thing, and it needs to become normal.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Chris Hogan. Voting for your favorite sportsmanship story is as simple as sending a text from your cell phone. Text VOTE to 83228. Albert Pujols loves to knock pitches right out of the park, but it's his service off the field that's the real home run. That's still to come on the AT&T National Sportsmanship Award.
When your touchscreen runs on AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, the difference can be dramatic. Buy any exclusive Samsung touchscreen after mail-in rebate and get one free after mail-in rebate. Only from AT&T.
It's tough out here. The days are long.
The nights get lonely.
But we have a job to do.
We have a commitment.
To our country.
To our families. Our children.
And to each other.
The USO is a bond
that we share.
to help us stay close.
Here at home
and far away.
To find out how you can help, visit us at uso.org.
The USO.
Until everyone comes home.
Be a fan of courage. Be a fan of dignity. Be a fan of pride. fan of confidence. Be a fan of fun.
Be a fan of Special Olympics.
To support some of the most inspiring athletes you'll ever see, please visit SpecialOlympics.org, where you can volunteer, support, coach, or sign up to compete. I'm a fan. Be a fan, too.
Hello, I'm Maryville University President Mark Lombardi. Maryville is proud to be associated with the National Sportsmanship Awards, and we're delighted that this inspiring event takes place here in our hometown of St. Louis. We're committed to upholding the very finest of integrity among our student athletes. We invite you to visit us and learn more about our university at maryville.edu. Thank you for watching the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards. Please enjoy the show.
AT&T is proud to recognize Albert Pujols' commitment to sportsmanship and community service.
Albert Pujols is beloved here in St. Louis. Sure, it's because he's the best player in the game, but it's also because he represents our community so well. He exudes class on and off the field with his respect for the game and his concern for others. Now, Albert has a personal commitment tonight in Kansas City, so he's unable to join us. But let's take just a brief moment to celebrate what makes Albert such a deserving Sportsmanship Award recipient.
Pujols hits it deep to left center field.
He is no historian, but when it comes to baseball history, Albert Pujols is rewriting it. In 2009, for the 9th consecutive season, Pujols hit better than 300 with 30-plus home runs and 100-plus RBIs.
Got a long drive, left center field.
He led the majors with 47 homers, 124 runs scored, and a .658 slugging percentage.
Unbelievable.
His 135 RBIs ranked third in the majors. His .443 on-base percentage was second, and his .327 batting average was sixth. But Albert Pujols is not only making history on the field, he's making a difference off of it. In 2005, Albert and his wife Deidre, who have a daughter with Down syndrome, launched the Pujols Family Foundation, which is dedicated to the love, care, and development of people with Down syndrome.
I want people to know, if you don't know anything about Down syndrome, when you hear about it, you think that these kids are not able to do things, and they be able to do pretty much everything that we can do.
Every summer, Albert goes from player to coach when the foundation hosts an annual All-Star game for Down syndrome kids. Pujols' character was on display this past August in Pittsburgh.
Albert Pujols is over there.
When he helped a man who fell headfirst onto the field trying to pick up a foul ball for his son.
Albert Pujols has not moved.
Pujols was the first to arrive, encouraging him to wait on the field for medical attention.
Pujols trying to comfort him.
The man was there because his son, who has Down syndrome, was celebrating his 21st birthday.
And obviously our prayers and thoughts are with him.
Albert calmly talked to the young man as his father was strapped into a stretcher.
And the 3-0 pitch, Pujols down the left field line.
By the time his career is over, there is no telling how many records he'll break or what kind of numbers he'll compile. But it seems clear that none of that is as important to Albert Pujols as the number of people he and his family foundation hope to help.
God has given me more than that I deserve in this life, and I want to be able to give back to the community.
Losing the big game can be tough, but it's what happened next that really sets one California high school basketball team apart. And this Olympic track star realized doing the right thing was more important than the shine of a silver medal. His story, when the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards continue. The NCAA salutes wrestler Anthony DeKalb of Anderson University for showing more regard for an injured opponent's safety than winning his match, and Alexandra Mikiewicz of Brown University for giving up her postseason spot so her senior teammate could compete in the NCAA tournament. You can see their entire stories at att.net/sportsmanship.
There's never been a better time to let First Bank help you secure your financial future. For a limited time, First Bank is offering great new rates on 2 of our most popular accounts. Open a First Bank Performance Money Market Savings account with a great new rate and easy access to your money. CDs are also available with a special fixed rate and our attractive 13-month term. Don't miss this great opportunity. Contact a First Bank specialist for these special rates or apply online. First Bank, your success is our success.
Delicious cheeseburgers for a family of 4, $7.06. No cooking classes, no fake greenery in the meat case. Ingredients for great cheeseburgers at Save-A-Lot, $5.16. We trim the fat and you get perfect cheeseburgers. Save-A-Lot, great food, great prices, great people. Appetizer for a family of 4, $6.99. No raw oysters, no sushi bar. 10 ounces of shrimp at Save-A-Lot, $5.99. Catch our great savings. Save-A-Lot, great food, great prices, great people.
I think it was the Sunday styles that brought us together.
I think it was the weekend review. Getting the times delivered for me, well, that's really the best part of the weekend. That's why I love the Weekender.
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday subscription that puts you in the center of the conversation.
The depth and breadth of reporting, the insight.
Call the 800 number and you save 50%.
Just $5.20 a week delivers the world to your home.
It's the best deal around.
How many sections are you fluent in?
I'm fluent in 3 sections, actually. Business, travel, the book review.
Sunday styles.
You call the toll-free number and you save 50%.
He likes a deal.
I do.
I just went to Spain and the travel section helped me plan my trip.
So you call the 800 number and you save 50%.
50% off home delivery? Fantastic.
The best journalists in the world work for the Times, and there's no debating that.
So call now. Get the conversation going.
Get the Weekender for as low as $5.20 a week. Call 1-800-395-9166 and be part of a great conversation.
I'll trade you the magazine for the book review.
Deal.
The 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards are brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Maryville University of St. Louis, where athletes grow academically and athletically by competing throughout the Midwest in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And American Airlines, we know why you fly. 250 cities, 40 countries.
Now, like Grapevine Faith, our next award recipient showed incredible class and regard for an opponent. The sportsmanship displayed by those at Monte Vista High School is particularly striking since it came in the wake of a season-ending loss. As you'll see, the school was not only gracious, it was generous in defeat.
Sportsmanship is a bridge between triumph and respect. That's something that became apparent not far from the San Francisco Bay. 25 miles off I-680 is Danville, California, and Monte Vista High School. During the 08-09 season, they were a basketball powerhouse.
Probably the best team in the history of the school.
They were loaded with both talent and leadership.
We had set a goal for ourselves in April that we wanted to win a NorCal championship. We felt like we had the team that could.
The team was like we were all treated each other like brothers, and it was the closest bond I've ever had with any group of guys.
The road to Sacramento in the state tournament had very few potholes, but they were on a collision course with the defending California champions from McClymonds High.
They knew what to do. They were hard, they were tough, they ran their stuff.
McClymonds, an inner-city school from West Oakland, has a storied history, producing athletes like Hall of Famers Bill Russell and Frank Robinson. The year before, they went 32-0.
We are known for our defense, and basically that's what we do. We play great man-to-man, baseline-to-baseline defense.
In March of 2009, the two schools would meet in the California State semifinals at Arco Arena, home of the NBA's Sacramento Kings.
That was, it wasn't anything special needed to be said on that particular evening.
Monte Vista got out to a quick 9-point lead. But the Warriors soon erased it.
It was just very tense, the whole game. It was a very physical game. We just kept going back and forth. It could have gone anywhere.
In the end, it went McClymonds' way. They pulled out a 46-43 squeaker.
It came down to the last couple of possessions, I mean, and that was the turning point. We made plays down the stretch, and that's just how we won the game.
The end of the game meant the end of the season for Monte Vista, and that was the most difficult part, knowing this team that had been through so much would never play together with the same group of guys again.
We just bonded together, we came very close to each other, we cared for each other, you know, and then just to see that happen, it was just...
There were a lot of tears in the locker room afterwards. I mean, we knew that we had something special and that it was over.
Actually, something special was just about to begin. A few days later, with the school still reeling from their loss, the parents of one of Monte Vista's players learned through a newspaper article that McClymonds didn't have enough money to cover food and lodging for its players so that the team could stay overnight before Saturday's state championship game. The Warriors would have to try and win after driving up and playing on the same day. That's when Kevin Turner, a Monte Vista parent, got a call from his wife.
She said, well, we need to do something like now. We have to have it done between now and tomorrow because the game's in 2 days. They need to make reservations.
Pretty soon, the parents and Monte Vista coach Bill Powers were sending out emails with an idea. Let's raise enough money to cover McClymonds' expenses. By the end of the day, the parents and players had raised over $1,000.
I got a call from Coach Powers. Coach Powers, once he read the article, you know, gave me a call to say, well, Coach, you know, I actually have some parents, and you know, and our program would like to, you know, give some donations to help you guys out for the weekend. And I was just blown away.
It's been said that losers live in the past, and winners learn from it.
They deserve to be there, and if something we could do to help them get there, I mean, they beat us fair and square.
There was somebody that needed some help. We had the ability to do it, and the fact that they had just beaten us 2 nights prior had nothing to do with it.
Just days after the most devastating loss in school history, Monte Vista notched perhaps its biggest victory. McClymonds didn't win that championship game, but that was hardly the point. After all, this is high school, and for everyone involved, it was a teaching moment.
We're more than just basketball coaches to a lot of the kids, and we try to be, you know, role models.
We can always help somebody. Very small gestures mean a lot to somebody.
Losing for losing's sake is, you know, it doesn't quite cut it, but, you know, losing for the sake of learning, then it really isn't, in the long run, isn't losing at all.
It is one of the great things about sports. Instead of building walls with the right spirit, you can build bridges.
And accepting the award from Danville, California, here's Monte Vista basketball coach Bill Powers.
Which story of sportsmanship is your favorite? You can vote on your cell phone. Text VOTE to 83228. Coming up next on the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, 2 high school teams truly put it all on the line to support a fellow athlete grieving after an inconsolable loss. And a World Series winning team shows true champion spirit, welcoming a special group of kids for an incredible after-hours party at the ballpark. Stay with us. The National Junior College Athletic Association honors Jeffrey Kalanzi with its Lee Plarsky Award for sportsmanship. An orphan from Uganda, he excelled in the classroom and on the soccer field after earning a scholarship at Dakota County Technical College in Minnesota. The National Association for Sports and Physical Education honors Courtney Tetro for being a mentor and motivator as a coach at Red Mountain High in Mesa, Arizona. You can see their entire stories at att.net/sportsmanship.
If you buy the renegade idea that investing should be discussed face to face, not just inbox to inbox.
If you believe that your relationship with your investments shouldn't be long distance.
If you hold the wild-eyed theory that nest eggs, like children, should never be left with strangers.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Maryville University is one of the next great universities in the United States.
When your touchscreen runs on AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, the difference can be dramatic. Buy any exclusive Samsung touchscreen after mail-in rebate and get one free after mail-in rebate. Only from AT&T.
Spread the holiday cheer. All this week, the CBS College Sports Network will turn the spotlight on some of the greatest Heisman Trophy winners of all time.
Bang, bang, 2 plays. We told you this offense could be explosive.
Don't miss Heisman Week. All part of Holiday Blitz. Only on the CBS College Sports Network.
The 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards are brought to you by Ameren UE. We listen, we respond, we deliver. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. And Save-A-Lot Food Stores. Save-A-Lot is dedicated to bringing you great food at great prices from the great people in our stores. True leaders make a difference. They inspire, they coach, they listen. Some are focused strictly on outcome and care little about process, but great leaders dive headlong into the challenge, unapologetically standing up for their beliefs. On September 16th, intercollegiate athletics and the higher education community lost a leader, an advocate, an administrator, and a friend, NCAA President Miles Brand. Miles Brand built his presidency on academic reform and advocacy of intercollegiate athletics, accomplishing both during his 6 years in office. His efforts for the student-athlete and good sportsmanship were tireless and unwavering. His presence will be missed, but his countless contributions will be felt for decades to come. Sometimes winning the game is the least important part of sports. Next on the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, 2 teams set aside the score to support a grieving athlete. The National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics salutes Ohio State University for its Take the Field tribute when Buckeye fans honored the Navy football team for their service and sacrifice. Also winning a sportsmanship award, the South High School Nordic ski team from Minneapolis, who stayed into the wee hours on a sub-zero night to allow an opponent to compete in the one race she needed to qualify for state sectionals. That opponent, Libby Ellis, was flying back from a competition in Norway and her plane was delayed. You can see more stories at att.net/sportsmanship.
Mark, we have teams on both coasts that are interested, but Milos only wants to play for Dallas. Milos really wants to play for Brussels. Milos only wants to play for Shanghai. Buenos Aires. Frankfurt. Paris.
Milos really wants to play for Rome.
How's your Japanese?
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
Delicious cheeseburgers for a family of 4, $7.06. No cooking classes, no fake greenery in the meat case. Ingredients for great cheeseburgers at Save-A-Lot, $5.16. We trim the fat and you get perfect cheeseburgers. Save-A-Lot, great food, great prices, great people. Appetizer for a family of 4, $6.99. No raw oysters, no sushi bar. 10 ounces of shrimp at Save-A-Lot, $5.99. Catch our great savings. Save-A-Lot, great food, great prices, great people.
Maryville University is one of the next great universities in the United States.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-563-9499. That's 1-800-563-9499. Call now.
Maryville University salutes the class and selflessness of the DeKalb High School boys basketball team.
Now, some acts of sportsmanship take planning. They develop over time, they build up, and there's a lot of thought that goes into how to help a teammate or competitor overcome obstacles and adversity. Then there are the relatively simple gestures, the ones that can happen spontaneously. They can be just as astounding. The spirit of sportsmanship truly shines when on the spur of the moment, someone has the character to step up and do the right thing. That's the story of our next award recipients, Darius McNeil, Dave Rollman, and the DeKalb High School basketball team.
65 miles from Chicago, down Interstate 88, is DeKalb, Illinois. Here, they grow corn and soybeans. They also plant the seeds of honor and decency.
They put others ahead of themselves.
The DeKalb High School basketball team is coming off an excellent season.
We had a very good team, a lot of talent.
They're called the Barbs because barbed wire was invented in DeKalb County, and they did a good job of fencing in opponents. Their senior point guard understood his role as a team captain.
It means that I have to show leadership and to show that, everything's going to be okay when things are wrong as far as game situation or in life situations.
For the past 4 years, DeKalb has played a non-conference game against Madison High School in Milwaukee.
We wanted to do something a little bit different for our kids and give them a unique experience, and that's how it started.
Especially with, the Wisconsin-Illinois border kind of war, Bears, Packers, a Bucks, Bulls kind of thing.
The teams get together after the game to share some pizza and soda. But in February of 2009, the game was almost canceled.
As we're getting dressed, the coach comes in to tell us the bad news about Jontel's mom.
The mother of Knight's senior captain, Jontel Franklin, passed away the morning of the game.
She was a happy person, always kept us focused, always kept us, motivated.
Carletha Franklin, who was one of the team's biggest supporters, lost her battle with cervical cancer. She was 39 years old.
It was at that point we said, well, certainly don't feel that you have to play this game tonight.
The team wanted to forfeit because anybody wanted to play. I told them to play.
With heavy hearts, the Knights decided to play the game. And it was very close when early in the second quarter, the small crowd let out a cheer.
I believe I was taking out the ball, and I looked to my left, and I was shot.
Arriving straight from the hospital, Jontel Franklin walked into the gym.
And I just wanted to get my mind off that situation that happened.
Coach Womack called a timeout to give his players a chance to hug their grieving teammate, and fans came down from the stands to do the same. Then the coach had a question.
He asked me what I was going to do. I was like, I want to play. I'm like, for real? Like, yeah.
Next thing I know, he sprinted off the bench and ran towards the locker room to get dressed.
It wasn't too long after that. He came out dressed in uniform and was sitting on their bench and ready to play.
But there was a problem. Jontel's name wasn't on the roster in the scorebook because nobody expected him to play. Putting him in the game was a technical foul, and that meant DeKalb would get 2 free throws.
I felt like that was almost, piling it on to Jontel and his teammates. It's not, it's not their fault that that's the situation that they were put in.
So for several minutes, Dave Rollman tried to get the referees to ignore the rules because of the extenuating circumstances.
Coach Rollman said, no, we're not taking the technical fouls. Let's just play.
We was arguing back and forth with the ref. The ref said, well, hey, that's the rules.
Insisting they were doing what they had to do, the officials enforced the technical. So DeKalb did what they felt they had to do. Coach Rollman gathered his team.
He asked who wanted to shoot the free throws, and I'll quickly raise my hand.
The rule is everybody has to stand behind half court while you shoot those free throws, so he's going to be out there by himself. And I knew he was on the same page as I was.
After a quick discussion with the coach, Darius McNeil went to the free throw line.
I took my normal routine, just spin the ball and catch it, and I just shot it regular, but I just airballed it really bad.
You airballed it?
Yeah.
McNeil didn't even come close to making the first free throw. He missed it on purpose.
That's when Coach Womack got his kids up off the bench, and they turned toward us and started applauding us.
Then he did the same with the second free throw. And that's when the fans joined the Knights to give DeKalb a standing ovation.
I was thankful that he did that, because most teams wouldn't have probably did that.
To think about John Tell first, I just, I've heard about it in stories or something like that, but I've never seen or been a part of it in real life. It just caught me. It did something to my heart.
After those missed free throws, John Tell and Milwaukee Madison pulled away and won the game 62-47. But DeKalb had no regrets.
I felt good inside. I felt that I did the right thing.
A few days later, the Knights coach wrote a letter to DeKalb's hometown paper, the Daily Chronicle, to express his gratitude.
Those coaches over there are not just teaching about basketball, they're teaching about life.
We get online comments on stories, and it just started as a few, but by a couple days after that, I mean, we were talking about hundreds of comments on there.
Soon after, the story was picked up by the Milwaukee paper, then the national media, and then it was making news all over the world.
People started to become really proud that they were from DeKalb out of this.
And Coach Rollman started posting the emails all over the school.
That was probably the most gratifying thing that we read over and over and over. This is what sports is supposed to be about.
On the wings of all this love, DeKalb went on to tie for their conference championship.
It just brought us closer, and we started playing together as a team.
But all these months later, for the people who were there that night in Milwaukee, it's not the wins and losses that they'll remember about the 2009 season.
It's a really tough thing, basketball player losing his mother, but to be able to turn it into a positive thing is what really has made this story grab hold of people.
It's not really me scoring a lot of points or me giving a lot of assists, but it shows me being a good person for what I did. Thinking about the love that everybody showed me that day, and that team, did that at that moment in that critical situation. Because if he could have made them free throws, they could have probably ended up winning the game.
It's been said that winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Unless, of course, there's an opportunity to do the right thing.
What would they say after the ball stopped bouncing? Because your life lasts a lot longer than your athletic life. So what would they say about you when your sports life ends?
Coach Womack said it best in his letter. He said, if my son can't play, here in Milwaukee, we'd like to sign him up and be a Barb. I mean, that's a pretty good compliment, I think.
We welcome and congratulate and salute the entire DeKalb High School basketball team. They are all here tonight with their families, leading them on stage, Coach Dave Rollman and Darius McNeil.
Grab that cell phone and vote for your favorite sportsmanship story. Text VOTE to 83228. An Olympic track champion and a World Series pitcher show us the real definition of winning up next on the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards.
If you buy the renegade idea that investing should be discussed face to face, not just inbox to inbox,
If you believe that your relationship with your investments shouldn't be long distance,
If you hold the wild-eyed theory that nest eggs, like children, should never be left with strangers,
join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
To the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, the USO is home. The USO depends on the generosity of the American people. To find out how you can help, visit us at uso.org.
Be a fan of courage.
Be a fan of dignity. Be a fan of pride.
Be a fan of confidence.
Be a fan of fun.
Be a fan of Special Olympics. To support some of the most inspiring athletes you'll ever see, please visit SpecialOlympics.org, where you can volunteer, support, coach, or sign up to compete.
I'm a fan. Be a fan, too.
The AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards salutes U.S. Olympian Shawn Crawford, who gave up his silver medal from the 2008 Olympic Games. Crawford gave it to Netherlands Antilles sprinter Chirandi Martina, who finished second in the 200 meters, but was later disqualified for running out of his lane.
Now, we've heard a lot of crazy stories tonight, but giving up a medal, why was that important for you to do, Shawn?
Because as an athlete, especially an Olympic athlete, I know we all have to wait 4 years for every Olympics to come around, and to know that someone was disqualified just for stepping on the line when he clearly finished second place in a race, it was just, it hurt me to accept that medal, so I felt like he ran a second place race and he deserved the second place medal.
And what was his reaction?
He was pretty surprised. He couldn't believe that I had done it, I'd done that himself, but he was very thankful for it.
And we honor the New York Yankees, who brought joy and hope to children from Camp Sundown, a special retreat for kids with a rare genetic disorder called XP, who must avoid the slightest exposure to UV rays.
And the right-hander deals.
The kids not only took in a night game in a party suite, they played wiffle ball with Yankee players. At 3:15 in the morning, pitcher A.J. Burnett had to practically be forced to leave.
I guess you're having a pretty good off season, huh?
I am having a good off season, yeah. World champs. So, thank you. You know, I had a rough game 5. Probably all you in here know that. But you go home and I have 2 boys myself. They're 8 and 5, and I hook them in, and I just think, you know what? There's so many things out there way worse than not getting out of the 3rd inning of game 5. So.
But you know, here it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we saw the video. You're out there playing with those kids from Camp Sundown. How come?
I couldn't imagine not taking my boys to the park. You know, I never heard of XP before. Jason brought it to my attention, and the fact that I could be a part of somebody's memories to come to Yankee Stadium for the first time and hang out and take me deep. They took me deep about 10, 15 times, which I'm getting used to that lately. We'll work on that a little bit. But they were just, they were the highlight of the night. We had a 2-hour rain delay. We were all tired, and it was full of energy as soon as we got out there.
And when you win an award like this, with all the other awards you can win in baseball, what does this mean to you?
It means more than the other ones. You know, like I said, it don't matter how bad a day you're having, somebody out there is having one worse. And if you can make any kind of difference possible, then you need to do that.
Congratulations, and thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
To see this and all of the stories celebrated at the 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, visit att.net/sportsmanship.
Electricity has no shelf life. It can't be packaged up and stored away for later. That's why power is made constantly to meet the growing demand. Luckily, one resource can reverse the trend. Efficiency. It's the new fuel, and it starts with you.
When your touchscreen runs on AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, the difference can be dramatic. Buy any exclusive Samsung touchscreen after mail-in rebate and get one free after mail-in rebate. Only from AT&T.
Maryville University is one of the next grade universities in the United States.
I tried the other energy drinks, and what made me switch was the size of the drinks kept getting bigger and bigger. I just wanted energy. I didn't want to get bloated. The 2 ounces of 5-hour energy really does make a difference. With the other energy drinks, it was kind of a sugar high. I felt on edge, and that's not what I'm looking for before I go on a mountain bike ride or a run or a swim, and I never felt that with 5-hour energy. It gave me a boost, and the boost lasted, and I never crashed. It gives you that sense of alertness. Nothing works like 5-hour energy.
Welcome to Progressive.com.
Yes, I need some insurance for my vehicle.
Great. We insure all sorts of vehicles. You also get concierge claim service, 24/7 live support, and pet injury coverage. Oh, are those real antlers?
I mean,
I like cashmere socks.
Giving you the gift of savings. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
The 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards are brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Maryville University of St. Louis, where athletes grow academically and athletically by competing throughout the Midwest in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And American Airlines, we know why you fly. 250 cities, 40 countries. During this broadcast, you've watched incredible stories of sportsmanship. You saw how a college soccer team got a second chance after the fire. It was a matter of fate as an entire high school community rallied around a football team with few fans. A champion's choice showed how one team set aside a devastating loss on the basketball court to help a competing squad make it to a championship. And it was triumph over tragedy when a basketball player showed amazing selflessness to support an opponent who just lost his mother to cancer. Now it's time to vote for your favorite. It's simple, just text VOTE to 83228 to participate in the fan poll for the most inspiring act of sportsmanship seen during the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards. You can check out the results of the fan poll online at att.net/sportsmanship. This text messaging contest is provided by AT&T, and standard text rates apply. Ladies and gentlemen, with all of our honorees on stage now, let's recognize one more time the 2009 AT&T National Sportsmanship Award recipients. Congratulations to you all. And there you have it. On behalf of the Citizenship Through Sports Alliance and the St. Louis Sports Commission, thanks for joining us for the AT&T National Sportsmanship Awards, and good night from the Chase Park Plaza in St. Louis. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.